All right, so it's day 11. I don't know how much weight I've lost. I think it's holding right around 310. I'll weigh myself when I get back. I always do it after I do my walk, but I can't wait to get down under the 300 mark. I've lost a lot of weight. If you look at the shirt, you can see it used to be actually really tight on me, and it's quite a bit looser. Even though I didn't realize I had lost so much until I started weighing myself. Not so much, but I mean, 30 pounds is a decent amount, right? I mean, I think that's where it starts being not just maybe you're losing weight. I think that says, you know, hey, you're starting to put in a serious commitment, and it's starting to, your work's starting to pay off. So what's been going on with me? I wanted to talk about people taking advice from people. Throughout my course of my YouTube journey, I've gotten a lot of advice from people I didn't ask for, and I'm not real sure why people do that. I guess they feel like they're being helpful, but at the end of the day, the worst advice you can give somebody is the kind that is not solicited, the kind they didn't ask for. I make these videos on this channel to just kind of express myself, to be me unapologetically, and I like it, and I don't care who watches. I don't care if I get 10 viewers, 1 viewer, 1 million viewers, doesn't matter. I don't care if I piss people off. I don't care if I make them like me. It doesn't make any difference to me on here. It's just for me to get more in love with myself, and not in some kind of weird, like, conceited way, but just to be more comfortable with me. Because for a long time I wasn't comfortable with me. That's why I ended up doing drugs and doing a lot of other stuff, because I didn't know how to be myself with myself. I think that's really important. And for once in my life, I actually feel like I know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going. I decided I wanted to do YouTube as my job, which means I gotta earn money. I have a channel that I make videos on, and that channel was always meant to be profitable. It never was meant to be anything else. So it's not that I don't care about it. I'm passionate about those videos just as much as I am passionate about making it a business, because for me to keep doing it, I got to get paid. And I don't know how anybody couldn't understand that. It's not a hobby for me. We invested in a lot of stuff and things like that, and that may be stupid, maybe by your opinion or somebody else's opinion. Well, that's dumb that you invested money in doing something. But I don't think that you can start a business without investing money. So it would be impossible for me to create videos that don't make money. And when they stop making money or people start watching them, we have to think about which direction we want to go, just like any other business. Do we want to keep going that direction, hoping that people will catch on, or do we look at our analytics and return to what people cared about? And ultimately, I think that we need to tighten up. I need to tighten up on it and start looking at what people enjoy from me and stop doing things that they don't, to the best that I can. I've gotten a lot of advice over the years from people who have no idea what they're talking about. Not saying that anybody on here or whatever doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, everybody's journey and situation is different. And just because you don't worry about one thing doesn't mean that other people don't. There are many, many channels that are very concerned about how they do, about how many views they get, how many impressions they get, what their CTR is, all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes with videos. And that's part of my journey, and that's part of what I want to do. I want to create a channel that people want to watch. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. But the way that I feel about that reminded me that on everybody's journey to do anything, a lot of times you're going to get people who want to give you advice who really aren't qualified to. Now, whether they're doing that because they think they're helping, or they're doing it because they're just narcissistic and want to hear their own voice, that I can't tell you. All I can tell you is this: when I go to find advice, I have people that I trust, people that have already accomplished the things that I'm trying to accomplish, which I think is wise and widely important. You know, if you're walking down the street homeless with somebody else who's also homeless, taking advice from the guy next to you may not be the best idea. But finding somebody who's gotten out of that position already is. Like right now, I'm trying to lose weight. If I was looking for advice, I'd probably look for somebody who'd already gone through this journey and just see what they had to say. I think that's, you know, it's just smart. It's just smart, but you got to weed through the people who haven't been. I'll give you an example. You can get on Facebook, and this may not happen to you, but it happens to me. I can get on Facebook and I can say, hey, has anybody used this blank? Maybe it's a camera. Let's just say a camera. Has anybody used this Osmo Pocket 3 camera? And I swear that I'll get 50 people that have never seen the thing in person commenting on whether it's good or not. Maybe I'll get somebody that's used it, but the majority of people will be people who haven't. I'm not real sure why people do that. Why they decide that they need to give advice about something they have no idea about. And it makes it really hard because a lot of them talk with authority. They talk like they know what they're doing. But if you're trying to start your journey doing something, whether it's losing weight, getting another job, maybe you're starting your own YouTube journey, or you're starting a marriage, a relationship, whatever it is, when you take advice from people, be careful, man. There's people out there who will give you craptastic advice because they want to derail you or because it has nothing to do with you. They just want to hear themselves talk. You know, it makes them happy to hear their own voices. They want to control stuff that they have no business trying to control. I mean, at the end of the day, what does it matter? I think that you shouldn't be giving anybody advice unless they asked you. Of course, I'm saying that while giving advice. But here's the difference. This is a YouTube channel. You have the option to leave. You do not have to stay here and listen to me. I think that a lot of people have forgotten that too, that these channels belong to the creators. They don't belong to you. They belong to the creators. The creators make stuff that represents their artistic values and how they feel. Some people want to just make art. They don't care if anybody watches it or not, just like I do with this channel. Some people are running businesses like I am with my other channel, where, you know, we're trying to make that be the thing that pays the bills because I enjoy doing it. So there's a lot of other channels that do that. My camera ran out of time. It said that I needed to get a new SD card. So I just deleted some files off of that I didn't need anymore. I don't know how much where it ended at before, but what I was gonna say, I've made a commitment to myself since I started doing this channel that I would not leave shitty comments for people if I could help it. You know, I'm only human, but I'm gonna try my hardest not to start any comments off that are rude, and if I do have to start them off that way, then I'm just not gonna leave them. So I'm gonna try to stay out of the shit, and just, you know, if I got something to say, I'll say it on camera, and if I can't say it on camera, then I don't need to say it. It's just more of my self-development, my self-growth. So I don't really have a lot else to say. Just be careful who you take advice from. Some people don't mean anything by it. A lot of people do. A lot of people mean, you know, they either are wanting to hear their own voices, they don't really care about you, they just want to control what's going on. Some people are jealous of where you're headed, and they want to try to derail that. This all really goes back to another episode. Watch this episode that's, I don't know if it's over here or over here, but watch that episode right there where I talk about other people and how to deal with haters and people who who purposely try to derail you. The people I'm talking about today, though, they're sneaky. They want to pretend to be your friend, try to give you advice, and some will even get mad when you don't take it. I've had people where I said to them, hey man, I appreciate the advice, but I didn't ask for it. You know, and I'm going to do this my way. Because at the end of the day, man, I am 49 years old. You know, like I said, I have men in my life that I seek out when I need advice. And when I don't, then I don't. And unfortunately, it probably wouldn't be, you know, people I don't know that I look for advice for, not for serious things in my life. And for you, I would, if you're going through something, man, find somebody that you trust, that you know that cares about you. I definitely care about where you're going. I don't have an ounce of hate in my heart for anybody who's trying to better their lives, man. And I mean that 150,000%. Whatever you're doing, however you're trying to do it, I support you. If you're trying to make money, I support you on your journey. If you're trying to just express yourself, I support that. If you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get in a relationship, there's nothing about any of those situations that I could ever hate on, and I wish you the best. If you're struggling with something, man, leave it down in the comments. If you got something you want to hear me talk about, then you can leave that in the comments too. And I'm going to head home and start working on my next Jeff Tech video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe.